Hi, it's Brian here. I've just got a subscriber question that um, I want to answer. This subscriber has asked, since I am using a Voyager app, he's not buying the cryptocurrencies with cryptocurrency, so it is a bit confusing with the Bitcoin pair. So I guess I understand what he's talking about in relation to the Bitcoin pair. People have difficulty knowing what US dollar price that is, and I'll get to that in a sec. But I'm not familiar with the Voyager app and how that works. So if other subscribers want to comment in the comment section of this video, and this will be a video that only subscribers can see, but if you want to help me answer that question. I'm not really certain that the fact that the Voyager app must be using a cash position to buy crypto positions, I'm assuming. I don't think that that's really relevant to the Bitcoin pair per se, because whenever you buy these, usually it's in US dollars. I'll talk about that first. The way so for the subscriber that's asked us and new subscribers, the reason I look at these in terms of Bitcoin is in the spreadsheet I send you every night under investment philosophy. So if you want to understand my reasoning behind that, then read that. So I won't explain it here, and I've talked about that a lot. So when I'm looking at Bitcoin, what I would do is, if I'm looking at a chart, let's say I'm looking here and I'm saying, all right, buy it here. I would just look at the date. So the 28th of July, and then just go to, this is VeChain, go to the US dollar chart and go to the 28th of July. Right? And so there's your price in US dollars. It's 0.015, right? So, if I only use a daily chart, then that's fine. But if I use an hourly, you can see what time it is and then go and correspond. But I can't understand you. Like, I don't think people will need the exact dollar values that often, because most of the time I'm just on the spreadsheet, I'm just saying, all right, this is a buy. So, as an example, when I went to buy Ripple and VeChain today, I saw Ripple last night. I forgot to add it to the spreadsheet. By the time I was done everything, I was tired and I went to bed. And I got on the computer, flicked some coins over there, swapped them to Ethereum, and then bought Ripple and VeChain just basically at the market price. I mean, I was using limited orders, but they were basically at the market price. So, I'm not timing it. If I'm like talking about this price here, you don't need to go and convert that to the dollar price. I mean, it would be easy to do because that's just that's the current price, right? So whatever the price is, but you don't really need to be too exact. If I'm, I know this is the 31st, so if I was looking up here, I'd be near whatever the price was, the high on the 31st. So if I go to the dollar chart and I find the high, I know we're at about 0.018, right? 0.018, 0.0182, 0.084, right? That's how I just can't see you needing to be that, much more exact than that, like having to drill down to exactly what it was at that minute, because you're not, I guess the only way that you would need that sort of functionality is when I put these zones up. So again, if I have this zone here, and these are hourly bars, so it's it's near the highs of the 31st and the low of the 31st. So if I go to the US dollar chart, it's near the highs of the 31st and the low of the 31st, right? So I know that that's my zone. And again, do I really need to know it's 0.017996 and not 0.01804? I don't think so. So that's how I would convert between the Bitcoin and the US dollar chart. And again, you know, like I keep saying, we're not trading futures here. Like if you were trading futures, you'd need to be much more exact. You know, I'm thinking if you get the spreadsheet from me and it's got a buy recommendation, I've looked at that no more than, let's say, 3 to 4 hours ago. Like if it's Cardano, I looked at that probably not more than 2 to 3 hours ago. So, you know, if it's a buy recommendation, you know, unless it says, you know, if it says buy, you can buy it. Unless you want to look at what the zone is and convert the zone like I just did to the US dollar and then try and get it on a retrace, you can try that. But generally, I can't see people needing to be that exact. You can if you want to, but you can also, when like Ripple, like I would just buy Ripple. Like I'll probably do a video after this on Ripple and make it a public one, but Ripple's looking really good. So, you know, I probably wouldn't wait there. I just flick the money to Binance and just get it and send it back to my wallet. But again, my service is just a guide, so you decide what you want to do. But a lot of people seem to be daunted by the fact that they have to change the Bitcoin pair to US dollar. Unless I'm missing something, it shouldn't be that hard to sort of convert the levels. So hopefully that answers the first question. For the subscriber that sent this, if it doesn't, feel free to like send me a follow-up question. It's no problem. And they're saying, should they wait to get more VeChain or ADA? So you should really, in the first instance, be using the spreadsheet to answer that. It's what the spreadsheet's for. You can always email me whenever you want, but the spreadsheet's going to give you that information too. So so if I go into the spreadsheet tonight under ADA, I've got a buy recommendation. It says prices retraced the ideal zone. Ideal entry was 1243. Can still buy here. So it's got a buy recommendation on it, and I've said you can buy it. And VeChain, I think that got moved to a buy today. Still looks good, don't wait. So they're both buy recommendations. So the answer to both of those is yes. So I'm not trying to discourage you from contacting me. It's just, you know, look in the spreadsheet for that information first. And then if there's more information that you want that's not in there, by all means, send me an email. So hopefully that is helpful. So let's just look at VeChain and Bitcoin. So I expect VeChain to push out of here, and it's pretty much in the right. It could have been a little bit more shallow, like it could have pushed out from here. It's gone a little bit deeper. I expect it to push out of here. The only thing that worries me is this red bar. So the momentum is certainly on the downside. Now you've had a little blue bar. I think that was the last time I did the video, and then a red bar that didn't break a new low, which is good, and a buying bar. So that means that there's a chance that could be the turnaround. But you know, you'd also potentially want price to cycle down and wash the support, but it doesn't have to. So what I'm saying is you want to drill down to the hourly and look at this and decide, could this be the low before it pushes out? Again, the reasons why that might not be is you got really strong momentum coming down into it, and it's washed resistance, and it usually you want to see it kind of wash support, usually. So we look in the hourly bars though. it's come down below resistance and made a consolidation pattern. There's been buying spike there, and then a breakout on the upside, which is relatively strong. And see, the air was marked up. See where that wick was formed? See where price got down and was pushed out of? So, you'll see that over and over again. Whether that's enough to, sometimes it can just be a short-term thing and it cycles back, but you will a lot of the time get buying pressure off the air. So again, it's like the wicks. You're looking for that in particular places, right? So this is very much a retest of this breakout, and it's pushing off there. So with that strength on the breakout and the retest, if that's starting to push out on strength, then I'd be very tempted to take that bet. And I don't like calling them bets, but you know what I mean. Because there's enough there to indicate, like if that does run and you look back on that in hindsight, that was obviously the beginning of the run. So the risk is, it cycles down from here. But even if it cycles down from here, when you get a wash of this, you're probably going to get, and there's supports right here, you're probably going to get another buying push, right? So, given that this looks like it wants to move, and this is kind of your 15 down to 13 is kind of your low, I'd be tempted to just get in there. So that's why I've given it a buy recommendation. Do you have to buy here? No. This wick's probably going to offer some weakness. So is a retest of that support. You can wait and see. You can wait and see what happens. But before it retraces, it's very likely to come up into that wick, and or test this before you get more weakness. So if you're waiting for a retrace, expect price to come up here before it cycles back. This wick is going to offer resistance, but if the buying bars just grow out of here, that's also a possibility. Again, there's nothing certain in this game, so there's always, there's a million ways it can go out, but we have a big spike into here, which was the second leg, and so my premise is certainly up. This is very much a retrace. And out of that retrace, I would generally expect to see another leg up. So the other way that you could play this is wait for a breakout and a retest of this trend line and hit that long if you were very patient. But this certainly looks like it could be a low. So again, I've made the buy recommendation off that. The risk is for me that this just pushes away now, and where do I give you the buy recommendation? So yeah, it's possible, but again, I don't think there's a lot of downside here, hopefully. So that's VeChain. ADA, so ADA's got a buy on it. This one's looking good because this one hasn't cycled down. And so there's something that I haven't really talked about at length, but when I learned to trade, I was taught concepts. This is inside support, this line here, and you frame it up. I frame it up just like I frame up support and resistance. And basically, when price consolidates at resistance like this, and it pushes out, what you'll see inside support, and when you see a wash of that support level, that's often on the futures trading, that was a long entry. So given that we had big momentum down, which wasn't good, a buying bar which wasn't substantial, selling bar, and then you've had a rejection here as it's washed this wick. So if we get a buying bar here that's bigger than this red bar, then that's a very positive sign. So the fact that inside support's still holding is kind of bullish for me, given this context of these two upward legs. And this is the other thing that you would have hoped VeChain would do, because VeChain was very strong up, but prices cycled right back down to support. This is looking to me like inside support's going to hold. And so, given what's happening with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's going up, so the price of this is in relative to Bitcoin is going down. So this is the fact that this is held so well, I think, is very bullish. So I like Cardano on the fact that the price hasn't decreased much. So if we go into the hourly bars, so those lines are inside support. Here's, the wick, and here's that wash. So that looks good. And see the buying bars are starting to get bigger off of that. So if we, I would say buy this here. You're already seeing the breakout. So, that's, for me, that's very, if I'm futures trading, maybe I'm a little bit late. It's very hard not to get involved in that now. So that's why Cardano's got a buy recommendation. So yes, I would buy Cardano, and I would buy VeChain. In fact, I bought VeChain this morning, as most of you know. Cardano, I've already got a small position, so I wanted to get back into VeChain ever since I got out, and I've managed to get back into VeChain at a lower price than I got out, so that's good. What else do I want to tell you? While you're listening, I really like Ripple. I think if you don't have a Ripple position, now's a pretty good time to get one. Let's have a look at that while we're here. So Cardano and VeChain I like. They both got buy recommendations. And initially this wasn't in the model portfolio because it wasn't in an uptrend. When I first had a look at cryptos, it was in a downtrend, and I was like, well, I'm not interested in that. And so this support level, it's come down to this support level within the context of this downtrend, and you've got a relatively strong push off with increased volume. It's come to the trend line, and it's sort of trickled down along it, which is bullish. It's tried to break out, come back inside. See the air there? See whether you've got the strength off of the air, and another push out. So that's a breakout. When it fails like that, comes in and V spikes out. Remember I told you V spikes are very bullish, even though this is a small one. This looks very bullish to me. And all right, I'm also a little bit biased because I know Ripple's a major, and I know what's happening overall in the crypto markets. Like all of these major cryptos, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Monero, are all going up. But again, I see this as well in the price action, right? So if they're buying the majors, they are buying this one too, and look at the price. So I like that, and you're very early on in the piece. If that's the low and we get a break out of here, and this break, if this break, I don't think this break will stop at resistance. It might be weak there, but I think at least this one here and probably more. So, if it does that, if it gets up here, when you look down here, this is very early on in the piece, and the only sort of earlier place to get in was here, and you have to know what you're doing to hit something like that. You have to be all right, that's failed, but it's not going to come inside very deep, and you have to have buy orders sitting there. And again, with what we're doing, we don't really need to be that exact. So it's a difference between 2030 and 2279. Like it's not going to affect your life. And again, we are holding these things for longer periods of time. I wish I had some way to project, where that's going to go. I think this is an extremely conservative, in fact, it's already there. I mean, it's cycled support. It's going to cycle resistance at least. You will see some maybe some weakness there. But in the overall context of the price action and what's happening in the broader crypto market, I think that this is going to push up. So I really like Ripple. And that's only just, that went from being a good trading idea to now being able to put that in the model portfolio, because from my point of view, that's a breakout into an uptrend. So hopefully that works out. Hopefully that answers the subscribers' questions. If it doesn't, please feel free to send me an email and I'll do a follow-up. Thanks again, everyone. Thanks for your support and kind words, and I will see you in the next video.